Paranormal Karen, she's so spooky. Paranormal Karen, funny too. Paranormal Karen, she's so spooky. Oh, and did I mention she's funny too? Yeah, cha-cha-cha.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I don't know if anyone has noticed my pattern because I've only had like 4 podcasts out, but I go girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy. And so today is girl, and it's one of my favorite girls. I have known this lady forever. You want to go to TerrieHuberman.com. She is going to spell everything for you, tell you what she does. She is my go-to girl, for mediumship. When I get a reading, I go to her. She is my consultation partner. We go to places where people want to know if things are haunted or whatever. She's in my show, Psychic Stand-Up. I cannot say enough good things. Please welcome Terrie Huberman.
Hello. Oh my gosh, you really, I guess because you are a Leo, you know how to talk to a Leo, but my head is like so swollen right now. Thank you.
It's all true. It's all, who did I call the other day? You got to tell me about this guy. You got to do it.
Well, it goes both ways. Karen, can you do a 3-card spread really quick? Thanks.
Or this one's even better. Quick, I'm not going to say, but yes or no.
Those are the best.
And so now, Terrie, we started out ghost hunting.
Yes, we met in a bathroom.
In a very dark
bathroom at high school.
In
Victorville.
I know.
It's just getting worse and worse the more we describe it.
Dear Hustler, here's what happened. Or what was the magazine you're supposed to send your stories in?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
I can't remember what it was. Penthouse, Dear Penthouse.
Dear Penthouse.
Oh, that joke would have been great had I been right on that. And we met, and I remember you were kind of like, we were kind of talking like, did I say, I think I'm starting to read tarot cards? And you were like, I'm kind of sensitive. I think I can. Now look at what this is our job.
Yeah, this is what we do full time. Mama pajama.
But I have so many things to talk to you about because I am not a medium. Or maybe once in a while it sneaks in. That's great. But I want to talk to you about mediumship, and I want to talk to you about the Akashic records.
Yeah.
Okay, if we can get this all in one.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your journey of becoming a medium.
Well, so I've been psychic my entire life. My sisters, my mom, my grandmother, all on my mom's side. So,
and I just worked with you and your sisters,
yes,
and they were you guys are fascinating.
Thank you. Well, it should be interesting to see how they develop and then how we develop together. So that's interesting to say the least.
It's like a Disney movie.
Oh my gosh,
the Hubermans.
Oh gosh, when you put it that way, but it's more scary.
I love because you say Hubermans.
Yeah.
Hubermans.
I say Huberman, but if you ask my dad, the H is silent and it's Huberman.
Oh.
So I don't know. Listen, I've been called worse, so I'll respond to whatever.
You could drive an Uber with a Huberman.
Oh, that's funny.
And real quick before we spell for your website.
Sure. It's Terrie, Terrie, Huberman, Huberman.com.
Okay.
All one word.
Great. And so, so you really do have a psychic family.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I didn't know it was a medium probably until about 7 or 8 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, when I started to do paranormal investigations. That's when I found out I was a medium. I had one experience that basically scared me so much that I was like, I need to know what is going on, because it was a trance mediumship experience where I actually had a spirit take over my body.
Oh, now listen, what do you think is the difference between a trance medium and what we call a walk-in?
That's a really good question, because as a medium, you learn how to control it by blending. So you blend with it, and that's how you can actually take on mannerisms. So when you're a medium and you know how to control the energy, you kind of look forward to those opportunities. A walk-in, I think, is kind of like an unexpectedness. And
is it a little more aggressive?
Yes and no. I think it can be more aggressive if you're just really unaware of what it is, because you have to integrate and calibrate your own energy with the energy of someone else, let's say, of a spirit. So if you don't know how to do that, it can be really, really scary. And walk-ins, I don't know, my perception, I don't know enough about walk-ins, but my perception is kind of like they kind of go through you. Whereas with if you're a medium and a spirit comes and it's in blends with you in a trance situation, you guys are connected until the message is given and then the spirit leaves.
See, I think that it's very funny because whenever I've seen a walk-in, I don't think it's anyone that I think had any mediumship energy.
Right.
And I think, no, except Jen. Jen did have a walk-in and it threw her off, but she didn't blend with it.
Right. Well, I think it's very, how do I say this? This is so complicated. I think for a medium, if it happens maybe more than once, that's a sign that you could be a medium, let's just say. So walk-ins maybe could be a sign that you are a medium, you just don't know it, and then you have to learn how to integrate with the energy and use it to bring messages.
So your energy would be more permeable if you already have that mediumship stuff going on.
I believe so, but it's also, gosh.
And permeable is a big word for me. So
yay, Karen.
Thank you.
A+ for you. But I hear permeable, and to me, it just, that may have a negative connotation to it, as if like you don't have your boundaries set or whatnot. I don't know if I would use the word permeable. I think I would use allowing, because you want to come from a place of having more power and control and the word is totally escaping my boundaries. I was going to say borders.
See, now
boundaries.
The first big word I used and it was wrong.
Oh, it's a good thing I'm not your teacher then. I'll still give you an A because it was a big word and you used it.
Yay! So you're on a ghost hunt and this thing.
So we're in a jail cell that used to be originally was a jail cell, was a fire department. I don't know what it was. And
the best stories start. I was in a jail
cell. Yeah. Oh, those were the days, Karen. When I was the sensitive, when you do paranormal investigations, they don't really call them psychics, they call them sensitives. And what I would do is I would write down all the information. This whole process started with me doing automatic writing.
Oh.
And then I started hyperventilating, and then I started rocking back and forth, and I was standing when this was happening. And I was aware kind of like myself and then not something else. But at the same time, it was like, can I cuss? I mean, can I?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It was like, what the fuck is going on here? Because my body feels one way, my mind is feeling another way. And then what the fuck is that? So it was like this whole really strange sensation. And I'm with people, we're investigating. Nobody knows what to do. And I start crying. And then I'm hyperventilating, I'm crying, I'm rocking, I'm writing. And then I start talking. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So,
and what is this location? Can you give that out?
Let me see if I remember it. I think it was the West Covina jail cell, and it was when I was on that team X Paranormal.
Oh, that's right. I still,
Oh, you still work with them?
Well, they defunct, but they were great people.
Okay, yeah. It was, it was that night, man. That's all I can say.
They always had something. They always had a ghost hunt going on.
We had they were in another location on the property, and they caught an amazing EVP, and actually one of the EVPs that they caught corroborated the name that I got, and then they went back and were able to find out more information, and there were news articles, and I mean, this was like a huge validation.
Was a big message,
So, but it was so scary because I didn't know what was going on. So once it completed and I got the information that I needed to get out, which was, all of a sudden this whole story starts coming to me, where this was a guy who kind of ran the firehouse, and he was just a total jerk. He was horrible to the firemen, the people that worked for him, and just like was verbally abusive. And he just harbored so much guilt for how he treated them. So he needed to get that out. So here comes a medium who doesn't know she's a medium yet. So, and that's like part of like my contract and my purpose in life is to be this medium. So I'm not necessarily, when you say a walk-in, maybe the distinction might be is that person is not supposed to be delivering messages from the spirit world versus someone who is, and that's why they're a medium versus a walk-in. I don't know. I mean,
I always feel like a walk-in, because the walk-ins that I've seen or heard of don't have any message. In fact, it's the person still angry or trying to, it's almost like someone trying to use a body.
Okay.
Like the guy that was in Jen was just swearing and...
So I have a belief system that may not be popular with the paranormal community in that. And that is the majority. And again, this is just my belief. I would love to be proven wrong. So by all means, prove me wrong. But I am of the belief that when walk-ins happen, or if they happen, the person that's being walked through, let's just say they're having a mental or a psychological issue that they need to be worked on. So therefore they are not in the right state of mind or the right headspace.
So the aura is
So there's
compromised.
there's some sort of compromise and opening for a lower vibration to now match a lower vibration.
Perfect answer.
So there you go. So that's how that happens. I mean, if you're vibrating at a higher level, lower vibration can't permeate. I'm going to use Karen's word. Then your energetic field is not as permeable, and therefore it can't penetrate. I like that word too. That's okay. Yeah. Can't, penetrate the electromagnetic field.
And
so it's an energetic, low vibration, high vibration thing. So
do you think, and I keep interrupting your story, so I apologize, but it's like every time you say something, I have another question. I'm like, let's do it. The higher, lower vibration thing.
Yes.
I am starting to wonder myself, because as anyone that follows my Facebook knows, I'm having a little trouble with Kaiser's
low vibration.
Oh, and they have no idea who they're dealing with. They're the loudmouth comedian that's going to get her money back somehow.
It's like Rontowski's on this rampage of comedy. Kaiser comedy rampage. I love it.
But I feel like, okay, so I do my tarot and I feel like that leads me to a higher vibration.
That's right.
But then I am hitting this low vibration.
Right.
But I don't know what the line is between standing up for yourself and getting and walking away and fighting. Apparently my line is $2,000. That's the line where I stay and I fight.
$2,000 vibration.
Yes. But I feel like, so I consider myself to be a span. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like, is it that you're hitting all kinds of vibrations?
Well, I mean, because that's what humanity is. As a human, you can't possibly maintain and sustain an extremely high level of vibration. And that's because you are here. Hey, baby.
Courage is here.
Courage is here. You are here. The reason we are here, the purpose of life, the meaning of life is for the soul to experience.
Right.
And the only way the soul can experience is through a container, which is the human body. So it is the soul being able to experience by the gamut of emotions, and the emotions cause you to feel certain ways, and then when you feel a certain way, you'll vibrate a certain way.
Right.
And
so
that's
if
the frequency.
I had, because I always think as a child I was very attacked by a parent. I was very attacked, and I almost have to remind myself sometimes when people do things to me, I'm not under attack.
Right.
People are doing what they do.
Right.
But that vibration, that's part of my soul contract, to lose that vibration, to understand I'm not under attack.
Exactly.
I bet I must have been a soldier, though, that was under attack.
Could very well be. You in a foxhole.
Yes. Oh, man. Me fighting Kaiser from a foxhole. I think I'm going to do a Paranormal Karen where I have a Kaiser voodoo doll.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So, okay. So you, tell me a little bit more. Do you have any, I know now it's probably more familiar, but at that time, is it easy to describe what that felt like? Like, is it where you feel you're so uncomfortable, or?
I felt a lot of fear because there was this disassociation. Thank you, Mercury retrograde. Of knowing what was going on, but not knowing how to control it. Okay. So it's like I knew that I wasn't myself. I knew I was this gentleman. who was not really a gentle man. But I knew I was Terrie, but I didn't know what to do. And so there is a bit of consciousness that's going on too. And it's pretty much like, what the fuck is happening? And then at some point you do have to surrender into it and just go with it, which is, of course it was a fear. By all means, I was scared shitless.
Yeah.
And so I gave into it, and that's when the message was able to come in. And believe me, once I was able to integrate back into my body, I was thoroughly exhausted.
Wow.
Because it's a whole energetic shift. So all of a sudden it's like, I'm Terrie, I'm not Terrie, and now I'm Terrie again.
Wow.
And it's crazy, and it was scary. And it was at that moment that I said, okay, I need to learn what to do and how to do this, because there was an inkling in me that this was not going to be the last time. And that was my first mediumistic experience. And then after that, it was not ever nearly as scary, because I knew what was happening. And then for the longest time, every time I would take a shower, that's when the spirits would come.
Really?
In the shower.
They wanted to help you clean?
Yes, apparently
Did they
I
show
was
up with
not
little pumice
clean
for your feet?
While you're there, can you do
scrub?
my nails?
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Yeah, it would be in the shower.
Did you think that, is that just like, was it water vibration?
I heard that it happens to a lot of people in the shower.
No one's coming in my shower. I can tell you that. Not by my choice. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but so you had that experience,
Yes.
and now you're like, okay, I'm in now.
Well, I was accepting of the fact that, again, there was something in me that told me this is not going to be the last time. So that's why I decided to pursue formal education, because if I knew something was going to happen again, I really want to be more prepared, because that was just really uncalled for.
See, and that's a great question for empaths, psychics, or whatever that are listening, because people are always like, well, how did you learn tarot? And I'm like, I read a book and another book and another book and another book. Or how do you become a medium? And I think it's everybody has a different path.
Yeah.
But this is really hard to just,
Yeah.
and it almost sounds scary, like,
Well,
you're not going to go show up at haunted places, go, hey, who's going to take over my body?
right. I mean, it's not like I went through my life always afraid I was going to ever be taken over or what, I mean, there's movies and there's TV shows which definitely make everything seem scarier and all of that. But it's just, on some levels, my body was violated. And so that's not a nice thing to happen. So what happens when you experience that? Most people will then, learn to defend themselves, and maybe they'll learn a martial art or something. So that's all this was me just preparing for if the possibility happened again, because it felt like it would happen to me again.
And you studied under Lisa Williams.
I did. That was my first medium training.
And it was intense.
It was very intense.
And I say you were a great medium when you went in, and it was like 2 weeks later you were a super medium.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know, I've only had one interaction with her, but whatever her classes must just be fabulous.
They're great, because she teaches you what to do. Like, this is what's going on, and this is what's happening, and this is how you can kind of control it, I guess, because a medium is going to be a medium. So it's going to happen anyways. But, to have to gain the confidence and to feel good about knowing you have the right to say no and how to say no and go, listen, you do learn how not necessarily to take on the spirit, but blend with the spirit. That's a sense of control, and that's empowerment. So she definitely started me off that way, like learning that, because like I said, this was going to happen again. I knew it. So now I just wanted to be prepared. So yeah, we're not taught how to do this stuff, but
Right.
Lisa.
I don't think I have any natural medium ability. I think everybody could probably learn something if it was my focus.
Well, you just don't know yet.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't until I was close to 40 that I was like, oh, I'm a medium? Okay.
That's funny, because there's another friend of ours that's a psychic and a medium, and she would watch me and she would say, so much bounces off of you. like she said that just my energy field, like so many things bounce off. Like I think maybe I was more empathic and stuff. And then I went on the road, and the travel alone, you build
Right. Well,
up
it wears on your body.
and you
it's
build
exhausting.
up a tolerance or a blockage that is pretty
Right.
big.
Right. So, but again, that's controllable.
Right.
I mean, if everybody has the gift of intuition, everybody has the ability to be psychic. It's just, are you going to nurture and develop it? That's all. That's all it is. But see, there is a difference. There's a difference between a psychic and a medium.
And most people don't know. So.
And most people don't know. There are a lot of psychics out there calling themselves mediums because they do know about people's loved ones in the spirit world, but they're reading it and they're getting it from a psychic connection versus having a conversation with an actual spirit. And believe you me, once you've had a conversation with a spirit, you know the difference of when you are being a medium or having a mediumistic experience and having a psychic experience, because the energies are so completely different, and it is dense, it's thick, it's hard, and you are stuck.
See, I think I'm doing what the first thing you said, where sometimes people will, they'll say, "Can you tell me about so and so?" And I can get their exactly what they look like, but it kind of stops there.
Well, that's a psychic. That's a psychic way of getting information. So when you're having a true mediumistic experience, you're giving the point of view of the spirit. You're giving their memories, which if you're reading me per se, but speaking to my grandfather, if I didn't have that experience with my grandfather, I'm not going to know that information.
Right.
So I'm just automatically going to say, no, that's not right. That's not true. But if you're having an authentic, true communication, mediumship communication with the spirit, I, as Terrie, I'm not going to know what's going on that my grandfather experienced. So I'm going to have to go back to my family and go, hey, did grandpa do such? And then you find out, yes. So a lot of times a mediumship reading doesn't end with the reading that you're with the sitter. You have to go back and kind of validate and get more information too. So it's kind of a reading that keeps on reading.
Yeah.
And that's when you know for sure it's a true mediumistic experience. Plus the person giving the reading, you physically know the difference. I mean, there is a definite physical difference.
I don't know the difference. And I've had two people that sent me pictures of people that passed on that they were very unsure that the death that was told to them was what happened. And I was trying to do that last night. And I remember what you said about that medium energy is sideways.
Yeah,
it's
you push the aura out to the side for mediumistic energy, and then for psychic, you push it forward.
Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is if you're not a medium,
it's not gonna
you can
work.
try all you want, it's just not going to work. But that doesn't mean you'll never be a medium. It's just right now. You never know.
Right.
And mediums have gatekeepers, whereas psychic doesn't, because it's like a gatekeeper is like crowd control. Because you could just imagine all the spirits that are like, hey, look, there's somebody who can relay our message. We're all going to kind of go there. But it's like when you're at the electric light parade at Disneyland, you have to have
and
lines.
are those guides or are those special guides?
They're like special guides.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
But psychically, I could still pick up something from it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get occupation. You can definitely get memories that they shared together.
So I could hear her. There was something I could hear her saying last night, and I can't remember now, but it was like something over and over, like, I don't feel well. That's what she kept saying. I don't feel well. I don't feel well.
Yeah.
And then I got a bump on the head.
Yeah.
And then I said to the person, am I on the right track? And they said, we don't know, because just the body was cremated. That's all we heard.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you can definitely get that information.
Right.
Off of a psychic connection versus a mediumistic connection.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you do, and this was one of my favorite readings you ever gave me, was my Akashic Records.
The Akashic Records.
Akashic.
Yeah.
Akashic, like the cereal.
Yeah.
Akashi.
Akashi.
Tell everybody where they're like, what is that?
So it's a higher realm of energy that you go to. It's called the astral plane. And that is where the book of records of your soul is kept. So basically, since the inception of your soul, any experience has happened. It's been kind of logged down there. So I can tell you in Judaism, it's called the Book of Life. And so it's, every year on Rosh Hashanah, they say, may you be inscribed in the Book of Life. So they're basically saying, hopefully you live another year. So your soul can continue.
So everybody that tells me I was in the circus in my past life, that's what they're reading out of that book.
Well, they could be. I mean, yes. No,
Three different people told me that. Three different psychics told me. And the third one didn't believe in the circus, and he said, you should be working in the circus. He didn't believe in past lives. And he goes, why aren't you working in the circus? And I was like, that's not the life for that.
Well, see, here's another thing is you can get that. You can get past life information from a psychic connection while still not being in the Akashic Records.
In the Akashic Records, okay.
So the way I was trained for the Akashic Records was through the pathway prayer process, Linda Howe's way, which is there is a prayer that gives you access to the lords of the records. And you still have to ask, is it okay that I go into Karen Rontowski's records? Like you have to get legal permission from the spiritual universe.
Wow.
And they can say no. They could be like, nope, sorry. I have thankfully yet to be denied access, but I have to respect it if that's the case.
Right.
With kids, unless they're 18, because again, this is a legal thing in the human world. There's a legality too.
Really?
So with children, you can't read for them if they're under 18 unless you have their parents' permission.
Is that psychically too?
It should be,
but I'm thinking,
but not necessarily.
I know I've read for some younger people.
I've read for 11-year-olds.
Right.
I mean,
their parents were here.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I mean,
probably best not to leave your 11-year-old with anyone alone.
Well,
just the good.
just saying.
Yeah.
But yes, so you have to ask, back to the Akashic Records, you do have to ask the Lords of the Records, which are the keepers of the books.
And is there any particular reason we know they would say no, or is
Not
that...
that I'm aware of, other than maybe they don't like
they're
you.
on a break. Yeah, they're on a break. And they're like, this guy.
Where are you coming from when you're trying to access the records? Are you just trying to be egotistical, or are you genuinely trying to be of service to help somebody? So maybe under those circumstances, I really don't know. I wish I had a solid answer for you, but I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So then what happens is once you have access, you are able to get into into communication with the person that you're reading for, their books. They're masters, teachers, and loved ones. So they have a whole team. I mean, when someone says, well, who's my guardian angel, this, that, or the other thing, I mean, there are so many people working for us that, it's really hard to make distinctions and go, oh, well, it's Jim Bob, who's this, he's in...
And probably their names and what they look like would be foreign to us.
It's hard because we're the one who's putting a label on it, but maybe they're just a color or just a light or something,
I remember when I was talking to, I think somebody had said to me, a long time ago, Tommy, demonologist, who was on 3 episodes ago.
Tommy.
We all love Tommy. Somebody said, you'd lose your mind if you go to his house. He has so many people protecting him.
Yeah.
He was doing really deep work then.
Yeah.
That he's not doing anymore.
Yeah.
And they go, there's something that walks around this black and white striped. And I was like, what is that? And it actually is like an Egyptian ibis or something. Like there's a name, like if you look it up. And I thought, sometimes I see things and they're not scary, but they look like they could be in a horror. You know what I mean? And I always go, I think that's just something I don't know. Yeah. And if I need to talk to guides, I go, I need you guys to look like you know what I mean?
Well, what I actually do is I actually put them all together because they know what each of their jobs are. Like, you have a guide for your comedy. You have a guide for your health. You have a guide for your point of view in life. They all know what they're supposed to do since they're employees of God. They know their roles. You don't necessarily need to know their roles. So I put them all together. They're not offended, but just to make it easier and more tangible for me to have a relationship with them, I call them Team Terrie.
Right.
That's it. It's just so much easier for me.
So you have Team Terrie and I have Team Karen.
Yeah, I mean, or you can call
team. It wouldn't be.
Whatever you want to call them, like
right.
rah sis boom ba. I mean, whatever you want to call. It's just so much easier to build a relationship with them when you can make it easier for yourself to have a connection. So yeah, these are your masters, teachers, and loved ones. I mean, these can be ascended masters. These are your loved ones who are no longer living, but it's not in a mediumistic connection because the energy is so much higher. It's comparable to theta energy and even angelic energy vibrationally, where mediumship is, because it was human spirit, significantly lower.
Okay.
So that lower energy, again, cannot mix with the higher energy.
And if they are going back and forth, some of them can go back and forth.
Not when you're dealing with Akashic records.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But mediumship.
Mediumship.
Like I could have somebody that's on a very high level, but they want to give a message to me, so they come to a lower level and tell you.
They'll match your energy so that they can. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well, you're also raising your vibration to match theirs too. So it's not, it's more like you're matching yours by getting into that space and meditation to be able to access it. But that energy is significant, generally speaking, significantly lower than the energetic vibration of Akashic records.
Yeah, probably, it's funny because I think everything breaks down to vibrations.
That's all everything is.
Yeah, I know 2 or 3 people that, they can turn off streetlights.
That's fabulous.
But that's it. That's all they got.
That's pretty good.
I know, but you know what? I always think that they're exactly on that vibration of those, whatever those lamps are,
exactly
or something like that.
It is.
And when they walk under them, they go off.
Yeah.
And it's just the same vibration.
That's all it is. I mean, quantum physics kind of
would answer that. Yeah.
Shows that, yeah. And well, with Akashic records, I mean, it's basically, that's where you can get past life information. And that's where you speak to team members to find out about current issues that are happening. And here's the biggest thing about Akashic records is that just opening the records is what starts the energetic shift. So it's energy first and then information. I literally could open up your records, Karen, right now and just say to you the whole time, blah, 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 blah. But just the fact that I got into your records would start to get your energy to start shifting and moving forward.
You know, it was weird because you have given me that reading, but when you made this motion, and you just went, when I opened the records, my heart started to beat really fast. Like it was like you just did it. You know what I mean? Like it was weird.
Also because I'm IET attuned, so my energy,
Tell everyone what IET is.
IET is integrated energy therapy, and that's direct connection with the angelic realm to transmute cellular DNA.
Is that get rid of cellulite too?
Yeah, well, I'd love to say I can, I got some cellulite to sell.
They're working on it. That's what you say. They're working on it. So explain that for. So you're connected.
So that is with the angelic realm.
Special training. So you're connected to the angelic realm.
To the angelic realm to help transmute, which means change, but not just change. It's take out and put in, to transmute, to completely change the cellular DNA, which are the imprints of any type of trauma or blockages, or to release the blockages. And that's done through certain acupressure points on the body. But Akashic Records does this same thing on a different level of energy. It helps move. I liken Akashic Records to like a clogged pipe. Once you open the records, the Drano starts moving through to kind of push it through. And the thing about Akashic Records is that it is not future oriented. So you can't do prediction work. Whereas with a psychic reading, you can do prediction work, or at least, I don't know if I necessarily call it predictions. I mean, I use the word, but I always look at it as potentials of what could happen, like a choose your own adventure book.
Road, I always say the path you're on.
The path you're on. Like, here's a fork in the road to go this way. This is something, this is what, you ultimately make the decision, but these are potentials of what could happen. But there's not that aspect of it in.
I just had to throw in a funny thing like that. I'll have someone call me and they'll go, I don't know if I should move to Denver or Orange County. And they'll go over it for an hour with me, right? And I'll go over all the options of what I see if you move there. And I'll get a call from a year later and I'll go, so what'd you do? And they'll go, oh man, I went to Canada. And I'm like, well, you spent a whole hour? And
Denver, Colorado,
and then you just were like,
going to Canada.
No, I went somewhere else. We talked about an hour, I went somewhere completely different.
But see, that's the beauty of allowing somebody to make their own decision.
Right.
So that was a totally empowered decision, and I think that's fabulous.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get that all the time too, and that's okay.
It wasn't even and that's
it wasn't
even on the
totally
table.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Because what you did ultimately was give them permission to think of possibilities for themselves.
Yeah.
So they took on the responsibility.
Yeah.
That's great.
And interesting.
Yeah.
Also, okay, so, and I want to go back to ITC for a second. IET.
Yes.
Because I want that explanation, because I think of, so when you do that healing.
Yes.
You have to be in person?
No, most of the time I do it in remote, actually. I get calls and do it remote.
Okay.
So the way.
And you did it on me.
I did it on you in person.
I was the learner.
I was
the guinea pig. I loved it.
I got to tell you, so I'm one of these people, I'm very skeptical for being so woo-woo, I guess you can say. So I did a case study with this IET energy because I wanted to see if I was going to do this work, especially remotely, I want to see results. I want to see tangible results. So what I did was I took 6 people and this was all remotely done. So was not in the physical presence of any of them. I took 6 people and I asked each of them with the IET, with the energy healings, you have to ask what their intention is. If they were to use this energy to do anything like heal their life or change something or manifest, what would it be? How would they want to use this energy? So what I would do is I would do session 1 and I would ask them for their information and then to record or keep track of any dreams, thoughts, or anything. And then we would do it the next week. We would either keep the same intention or come up with a new one. And what was consistent with every single one of them was at session number 4. It was like on session number 4. It was really weird. On session number 4, they had a breakthrough. And then we went 2 more sessions, number 6, and by 6 or at the end of 6, so after the 6th session, they started to make big changes in their life, and transformation started to happen. Right. So, and that was consistent. So I needed to do a case study with that. I needed to see some tangibility. So
there was.
So there was. And so typically what I tell people is ideally for best results, you do 6 sessions and then a couple of touch-up follow-ups here and there. If not, then just do 4 sessions. And then what I've started doing recently are house clearings and blessings using the IET energy.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
I'm getting really great results with that too.
And there seems to be a lot of, I feel like there's a lot of activity right now. Like I know I think my tarot readers also sort of, every once in a while you go up a step, and lately I've felt like there's either a calmness in me or some sort of a, it's almost like I do like on the phone better sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I can't see anything. I'm relaxed. I'm here.
Exactly.
Because sometimes when somebody's looking at you, there's an awareness.
Right.
Which isn't bad.
No, it's not bad. But what that does is it gets you into your head.
Right.
And that's what you can't be in when you're doing this work.
Right. And I, in fact, I'm still kicking myself about 2 separate, things where I doubted myself. And I do this all the time, so it's not that, but you get one, and it was about, I was reading for a police officer in Florida.
Oh, wow.
And I said, something big is going to happen. And I said, I think this is at work. And my head went, no, it's in Florida. And it was a week before Parkland shooting. And he lives in that area.
But you can't be upset.
Right, you can't go back and go,
And the other thing is, like, the reality is we are contained in a human body.
Right.
So we're going to have those thoughts, and we're not going to be 100% accurate all the time, and we're going to make mistakes, and we're going to get in our head and judge ourselves. When we have to trust that whatever information we give our clients, that's what they need to know for where they are in their life right now to move forward. So maybe they're not supposed to know that information, because if they were, you would have said it.
Right.
That's where we have to have our trust.
You're so good with that.
Oh, stop.
You're so good at making me feel like I'm not stupid.
But you're not stupid.
I'm just kidding.
And you're not permeable.
That's right. And so, but this is a, first of all, my apartment building is well-traveled. That's what I'll say.
Oh, yeah.
It's well-traveled, and it's got a lot of history, and it's very old. But lately, it's like even Dave and Tommy were both in here saying there's a little train that goes through your
Well,
bedroom or something. It seems like that's an activity room.
Well,
and it's not bad.
No, but you know what was interesting when I walked in, the first thought I had was, oh, this place got busier. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I also noticed there are more teenagers. And you know that teenagers can be triggers.
You mean the apartment
your physical building.
Oh, yeah.
Where you live. At least that's what I thought you were referring to, but. Okay.
I know. I mean, I think there's spirits that move apartment to apartment to apartment. That's it's well traveled.
But in this building, and I noticed you have more teenagers. I don't know if, and I remember Tommy teaching us in demonology information that hormones can be triggers to elevate spirits and stuff. So if there are more teenagers in this building, wouldn't it make more sense?
It kind of would. And they're mostly down that end, but I think it was poltergeists are teenage girls usually going through puberty, throwing that energy out. I think that this is what I feel like, but you could be right on that. Go through times where this place is really active. In fact, I used to hear a clicking. You see, like somebody,
a pen?
Like a pen. Huh. And this next door neighbor was hearing it too. Huh. And so somebody said, a medium did a reading and said that they're all they don't see you, they're all going over paperwork. It's a bunch of people leaning over architectural papers or something like that. Uh-huh. So somebody's clicking a pen. But it was clear as day, and it was in my bedroom and it was in someone else's.
Do you think that's a parallel universe situation? Maybe not even a mediumistic situation.
You know, that could be, and maybe you could stand.
I don't know much about it. I don't know much about it, but
somebody thought that these were actually had something to do with GM at something at one point, which would make sense. But there is a lot going on, and I kind of agree with Dave. I don't think these are things that see me. I think there's some sort of activity going through my bedroom that they're not that aware of me. They're either passing through or they're...
But that's what I'm saying is like maybe there is something along those lines because, I mean, to hear that clicking sound, it's like a disembodied sound or disembodied voice. And if you're not a medium, you're not necessarily going to hear that at that vibrational level. So maybe... if I don't want to say a portal, but maybe if there's some sort of different energy level that allows different universes to kind of meld during those moments, maybe that's what's happening, and that's why you're able to hear it with your human ear.
That could be because
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to prove any of that
because it moves. But the thing is, over here, my neighbor Emily came over and said, "Do you hear? We hear a clicking at night. What is that clicking?" And I was like, "That's the same thing, like a pen."
And there's this is me being skeptical. There's no birds in the trees, like because there are some birds that make noises at night. So
it's also in that side, which shouldn't. And also, I would hear it over traffic. Like that traffic's pretty loud.
Well, that's interesting.
But it seems like it almost seemed like it was right next to my ear. Huh. And it's in a very specific spot. Huh. And it's not over the bed.
And you can't recreate it at all, or can you? Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, I could show you where it was, and I could click a pen, but it was very. Like that was somebody's habit. It wasn't a tick. It was like
like a click,
very
not
click,
a tick.
like an old pen. Yeah. And but I feel like now, like I just feel like lately, it's like Grand Central Station in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just generally, and speaking generally, I mean, the energy is very riled up everywhere. On the collective level, so that's going to affect you and your space and doing your tarot. And as an empath, you're picking up on stuff.
See, but I'm not sure if I'm an empath. Do people that are not, is everybody empathic or is some
not? Well, everybody has. That's a really good question. No, not everybody is empathic.
Some people are really shut off.
Yeah. You can tell if someone is actually being empathic by how they talk. So when they start saying the words feel, like I feel this way or I feel that way, they're really using their clairsentience, which is their clear feeling. So if you hear somebody say, well, I see this, I see that, they're using their clairvoyance. Or I hear this, I hear that, they're using their clairaudience. They may not even be aware of how they're communicating it to you, but they're saying the what.
I think I would love to have you back to talk about those
things.
Yeah. All right. Okay. See, ladies and gentlemen, get very used to her because she's going to be another of the regulars.
Hello.
All the time. And soon enough, we will be announcing your podcast.
There will be one coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell everybody again where they can find you.
Absolutely. You can find me on my website, which is terriehuberman.com. Huberman.com. I'm also on Facebook and on Instagram and Twitter as well. You just plug in Terrie Huberman and everything will come up.
And I love your Instagram, and you do a lot of psychic and spiritual humor on there.
Yes.
You retweet a lot of things from there.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
You do a moment. You do your morning inspiration
Yes,
moment.
so I started doing daily energy meme readings. So if you kind of want to see what the energy or kind of like what direction you can go in or what you can do for the day, check out my Instagram. You can get that info.
That's so that, and it's Terrie Huberman, ladies and gentlemen.
Terriehuberman. Thank you so much, Karen. This was so much fun.
Oh, you got it. And thanks, everybody.
Night.
Remember, email me your ghost story at paranormalkaren@gmail.com. I would love to read it. Me and my sister do one where we read your stories on the air. We would love to. Also, go to karenrontowski.com. And you can you can book a reading. You can follow my funny web series. You can sign up where I send out coupons. You can do all that there. Thanks, everybody. Have a safe. Remember, I'm trying to get a hook. Here's my hook.
Don't be permeable.
Don't be permeable. No, here's my. If you have a choice between being normal and paranormal, never pick normal. People always ask me where I get my crystals and beautiful gemstone jewelry, and I tell them I go right to GaiaSpirits.com. Gaia Spirits Gift Shop has everything from crystals to singing bowls, and they also offer readings, Reiki, gift certificates, and home blessing services that fit everyone's budget. My friend Robin Celine has years of experience with crystals, so if you're not sure what you're looking for, she is always right there to help. They even have crystal packages to help with house cleansings and getting rid of some of those pesky ghosts. I get so many compliments on my black tourmaline necklace Robin suggested for grounding, and so far I haven't floated away yet. As a special gift for my listeners, use coupon code ParanormalKaren and receive 10% off your first purchase. Again, use coupon code ParanormalKaren, all one word. GaiaSpirits.com, where I go for all my crystal and gemstone needs.